From Simon Otwell in Tonotassa, Florida, and says, "Good afternoon, Jack. I've wasted many years thinking about real estate investing. I mean, we all know many people that have been thinking about it and never acted. Well, you finally did." And it says, "Since reading your information and watching your DVDs, I've made $59,255 on 20 land deals. Some have only made $900, but the best deal I've made over $12,000. This is not my full-time job. I work 10 days a month and have taken 2 European vacations this summer. I hope to really ramp up my sales and make over $100,000 a year buying and selling land." As far as I know, he's long past that, because this was given to me in October of 2009. He's long past 100 grand. But the question that I have is, who would like to work 10 days a month and take 2 European vacations and still make the equivalent of a good paying American job? Right? That's a nice thing, right? Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about selling properties. So, selling properties is wonderful right now. It's getting easier every day because the internet is getting better every day. And here's the thing, I used to do auctions. I used to do big land auctions where we sold 200 properties in one day. In a big convention center, advertising, radio, newspaper, all this kind of stuff. It was freaking expensive, hugely expensive. But we sold 200 to 250 properties in one day. One day I realized that was stupid, because the internet allows us to sell these properties. It used to cost me $1,000 per property to sell a property. Now, thanks to the internet, it costs us $15 per property to sell a property. Is that good?
That's really good.
Yeah. And is anyone here a realtor? Does it cost more than $15 to market a property? Yeah. Right? It does. So you think now, thanks to web pages like Craigslist, Backpages, eBay, Bid for Assets, Land Flip, and Land Watch. Land Flip and Land Watch are 2 pages. I mean, if you think about who do you think, what do people want to, what are people interested in that go to Land Flip or Land Watch?
Land?
Land, right? So would it be a good idea to put your property on these web pages? Yes, and you can. You can put your properties on there. There's a small fee for that, but you can do that. I don't own it, by the way. Somebody else does, but I think it's great web pages. Plus, they get 100,000 people, unique people there every month to go look at the properties there. We're getting lots of inquiries from there. We're probably selling a couple of properties at least a week just from landflip.com, just by putting them up there. And you can have deals up there. You can put unlimited properties for a full year for a couple of $100 or something like that. So it's really not expensive. You can put stuff on there. But also Craigslist. A lot of my students right now are selling properties on Craigslist. Selling properties on Craigslist. There's lots of them that sell there. Now, but whichever channel you use to sell properties, whatever channel you use, whether you use offline, online, newspaper, whatever it is, or these things, there's really, if you think about it, there's really I believe there's 2 main ways to sell properties. And either you do it by doing a wholesale deal, right? Wholesaling properties. There's actually 3 really, but the other one is retailing, but I won't get into that much. But wholesaling properties, cash wholesaling, where you basically buy the property for 5 to 25% of market value, and then you sell it a little bit higher, but still below market value. So basically you buy super low and you sell low, right? So, for example, you buy a $20,000 property, let's say for $2,500, and then sell it for $8,000 to $10,000 within a matter of days. Do you think that you'll find a buyer if everyone else sells theirs at 20 grand and yours comes in at 8 or 10?
Yeah.
Yes, you find a buyer because people are going to be craving after that one and jump on that one. And then you do it again and again and again. And for example, when I started out, this is what I did. This is the only thing I did because I had no money. I started this business with $3,000 to my name and a whole bunch of consumer debt. Because when you come to this country as an immigrant, you have no credit history, which is just as bad as having bad credit history. So you got to build it up, right? So we moved into our house, and I bought the refrigerator. We bought a house like with a high interest rate. Like we got into one to have a mortgage basically then. And I bought the refrigerator with monthly payments. I bought the bed with monthly payments. I bought the bed frame with monthly payments. I bought my couch with monthly installment payments. I bought, obviously, the cars on installment payments. So everything I had was on installment payment except for the $100 kitchen table. Everything else was paid installment payments. So what I did is, I did deals like that, and I always took a little bit of the money, paid off my debt, and I bought a little bit of the money, put it off to the side, and the rest of the money I did more deals with. I did more deals and more deals and more deals. And my goal was to put as much money as possible, put enough money up to the side that at that time that I could maintain my living expenses for 1 year. And when I would have accomplished that, that's when I said I'd quit my job. So, and that was the day. So I got the system really started in December of 2002. In October of 2003, so 10 months later, while I had a job, I had built enough money to live off for 1 year from this business. And that's on October 17, 2003 is when I quit my job. I'll never forget that date, obviously. And, but the key thing is that exactly 10 months later, I was officially a millionaire. That's how fast this can go. That's how fast this can go if you work it fast. Now, nobody says you have to duplicate that, you have to do this as fast. You can take longer, right? But with everything, so this is what I did. But then also what I came up with, what I did afterwards, soon enough I came across a different system that I hadn't even thought about, even though, but before I have another case study for you. That is from somebody that, again, I just want to share with you where he sold it. He sold it, put it on Craigslist. And here I have a little summary. This is Michael Hurley. It just says, very simply, it says he bought 3 acres for $1,125 and sold it in less than 30 days for $8,400 cash with a profit of $7,275. I mean, if you just think about that, if you do a deal, who would like to do a deal like that per month? And who could quit their job for a deal like that per month? Right? Probably could. So, and he used Craigslist to sell it. He listed it for, he figured out it's worth $50,000 to $25,000. He put it in for $9,900 and sold it for $8,400. Typical nice cash wholesale deal, right? So that's what he did here. Now the other way is seller financing. And seller financing is something that most of you are perhaps familiar, but perhaps not so many have done. Anyone has ever done a seller financing deal? Right?
Sort of.
1 or 2. Okay, great. So seller financing is something that I only started out once I had more money in my pocket. But then I really, truly fell in love with it. And now I offer all my properties. Whoever wants to buy any of my properties, always I offer seller financing with it. Because seller financing is now what has enabled me to build up a substantial monthly cash flow and go travel the world and come back. And even if while I still do deals, but even if I would stop doing deals right now, I would still have a lot of money coming in every month. Now, basically, why I fell in love with seller financing, particularly in this land model where you buy so low and sell higher, is that the incredible deal here, looking for an irresistible offer, right? The irresistible offer in the cash wholesale is just the price. Here, it's the deal. Because if somebody doesn't have $20,000 to pay you, banks are not going to give him money. Banks do not lend on land very much. Especially not on land in the outskirts of town or more rural areas. They do not like to lend on land. Therefore, if they don't have 20 grand in your pocket and you want 20 grand for your property, they don't have a way to buy it. But if you offer seller financing, it's just like buying a car. Most people don't go to the dealership and pull out 20 grand to buy a car. They go to the dealership and have a down payment and the monthly payments. So the deal, the solution here is in the deal. So and the beautiful thing is here, because we pay so little for the property, the down payment already pays for the property in many cases. So if you buy a property, it's worth $20,000 for $2,000, and you ask somebody, give me a 10% down payment, which is reasonable, right? Because a bank would want 30 or 40% on land if they even lend to you. If you just tell them, give me 10%, $2,000, guess what just happened? With a down payment, you got all your money back, and now you get a monthly payment of, let's say, $250 for the next 10 to 12 years. How many times would you like to do that? What difference would that make in your life if you just do 10 or 20 of those over a couple of years, let's say? If you do 20 of those over a couple of years, you get about $4,000 to $5,000 a month coming in for the next 10 years. Now, an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month would pay, does pay in my case, does pay my car payment, does pay my car insurance, does pay my electricity bill, my property tax bill, pays pretty much everything around the house, right? My grocery bill, for that matter, I don't eat more expensive than anyone else does. So it pays all of that stuff for years to come. Now you have choices. Perhaps somebody in the family can quit the job already. This thing. So the other thing is that the low down payment allows you to sell at market value, because why would you discount it? You're already offering great terms, right? You're already offering to give it at a low down payment. There's no reason for you to discount anymore. So now you can actually take the property and sell it at market value. And just to go on a deviation,